I'm really happy for the victory and for getting to the final. I don't know if it's the best goal of the tournament, but it's the most special for me.
Another long throw, flicked on, and into the back.
És a dir, perquè és que juguen molt bé, és decisiu. Res, esperem que això.
A record holder. This is your fifth. Fantastic.
I am a record man. Champions League, I am.
Morgan Rogers lets fly. It's 2-1 England.
This is Lamine Yamal. This is Jude Bellingham. Two teenagers who changed the conversation around football. One became the youngest star in Spain's modern history. The other became the face of England's golden generation. One dazzled with the ball at his feet. The other dominated games from every area of the pitch. And for months, fans argued the same question: who was really better? Tonight, we let the players, coaches, and legends answer it for us. Let's start with the simplest thing in football. Can you stop them? Lamine Yamal arrived looking like a player who had skipped several stages of development. At 16, he was already deciding matches for FC Barcelona and Spain national football team. Defenders knew exactly what he wanted to do: push the ball onto his left foot, attack the space, bend the shot toward the far corner. And somehow, they still could not stop it.
És a dir, perquè és que juguen molt bé, és decisiu. Res, esperem que això.
Jude Bellingham impressed people differently. He did not need 20 touches to control a match. He could win a duel, break a press, drive 40 meters, and arrive in the box before anyone else. At Real Madrid, he looked like a midfielder built in a laboratory.
A good game against a really strong rival. And after that, when we were able...
The contrast was obvious. Yamal made defenders look lost. Bellingham made entire midfields look slow. One created chaos with imagination. The other created control through power, timing, and intelligence. Different skills. Same effect. Matches changed when they touched the ball. The strongest praise in football often comes from opponents. During Euro 2024, France spent entire sequences trying to keep Yamal away from dangerous areas.
They've done in the first match against Cape Verde. Okay, we forget about that match, but about the rest?
That is not fan praise. That is a World Cup winning coach preparing to face him. Bellingham earned the same respect.
I'm in the dressing room after that. It was outrageous. He's the youngest player to score in a semi-final.
Veterans talked about him as if he had already been at the top level for a decade. And notice the pattern. When people describe Yamal, they talk about talent, imagination, and fearlessness. When they describe Bellingham, they talk about maturity, authority, and leadership. Even their rivals saw them differently. One felt like a football artist, the other felt like a football captain. Now comes the argument that divided football. Who had the bigger impact? Supporters of Yamal point to the moments nobody else could create: the dribble that breaks a defense, the pass between three players, the curling shot from outside the box. At 17, he was already producing highlights normally associated with prime superstars.
It's like score goals. His confidence is like ridiculous. When you're playing that well, you're doing what he's doing, it must be a great feeling.
Supporters of Bellingham point to responsibility. He scored goals, defended, pressed, carried the ball, and led dressing rooms. He became a central figure for both club and country before turning 21.
Doing that at Real Madrid, hopefully he can do it for a very long time, but what he's doing right now is absolutely amazing.
That is the heart of the debate. If football is about magic, many choose Yamal. If football is about total influence, many choose Bellingham. And then came the international stage. Yamal produced one of the tournament's defining moments against France. A teenager on the biggest stage, bending the ball into the top corner. Bellingham answered with one of England's most dramatic goals in modern tournament history. An overhead kick in stoppage time with elimination seconds away. Two moments, two countries erupting, two players refusing to disappear under pressure. Maybe that is why the debate became impossible to settle. Each produced a tournament-defining image. Each looked built for the biggest stage. Great players impress you with the ball. Great leaders change the people around them. Bellingham's leadership became visible early. He demanded standards. He spoke constantly. He carried himself like a senior professional, while still being one of the youngest players on the pitch. Yamal led in a different way. Not with long speeches, not by shouting at his teammates, not by acting older than he really was. He led with confidence, the kind of confidence that cannot be taught. Every time he received the ball, he wanted to make something happen. He never looked afraid to take on a defender. He never seemed worried about making a mistake. And perhaps that is what amazed so many people. Most teenagers play carefully because they don't want to disappoint. Lamine Yamal played with freedom. He played as if football was still a game to enjoy. That fearless mentality spread to the players around him. When a 17-year-old asks for the ball in the biggest moments, the rest of the team begins to believe as well. It is a simple sentence, but it explains everything. Pressure breaks many young players. Yamal seemed to ignore it completely, whether it was Barcelona or Spain, whether it was a packed stadium or a European Championship knockout match. He continued playing exactly the same way. Dribble, create, attack, enjoy. That is an incredibly rare quality, especially for someone so young. Jude Bellingham inspired people differently. His leadership was impossible to miss. Even before kickoff, cameras often caught him talking to teammates, pointing, organizing, encouraging, demanding more. He carried himself like someone who had already spent 10 years at the highest level. Yet he was still only in the early years of his career. Managers trusted him, veteran teammates respected him, supporters believed in him, not because of his age, but because of his mentality. Those three words perfectly describe Jude Bellingham: character, personality, responsibility. Whenever his team needed someone to step forward, he stepped forward. Whenever the game became difficult, he wanted the ball even more. Great players can change a match. Great leaders change the belief of an entire team. And Bellingham has already shown that ability on some of football's biggest stages. That is why comparing these two players is so fascinating. They are both extraordinary, but they represent two completely different ways of dominating a football match. Lamine Yamal makes football beautiful. He excites fans with moments they never expected. A sudden burst of pace, a perfectly weighted pass, a curling shot into the top corner. The kind of moments that make an entire stadium jump out of their seats. Jude Bellingham controls football. He influences every phase of the game. He defends, he attacks, he wins duels, he scores goals, he creates chances, he leads, he never hides. If Yamal is an artist, Bellingham is an architect. One paints the picture, the other builds it. Neither style is better, they are simply different. And football needs both. Maybe that is why this debate has no perfect answer. Every generation has arguments like this. Messi or Ronaldo? Xavi or Iniesta? Ronaldinho or Zidane? Now a new debate has arrived. Yamal or Bellingham? Some people value magic. Others value complete control. Some love creativity. Others admire leadership. And the beautiful thing about football is that there is no single correct answer. Every fan sees the game differently. Every supporter values different qualities. That is what keeps these debates alive for years. One thing, however, is beyond debate. Both players have already achieved things that most professionals can only dream about. Both have carried enormous expectations. Both have delivered under incredible pressure. Both have become the faces of their national teams while still incredibly young. And perhaps the most exciting part, their stories are only just beginning. Neither player has reached his prime. Neither player has shown us everything he is capable of. The biggest trophies, the greatest rivalries, the unforgettable Champions League nights, the World Cups, the Ballon d'Or races, they still lie ahead. We are not looking back at two completed careers. We are watching history being written in real time. So, who was really better? Was it Lamine Yamal, the fearless magician capable of producing moments that seem impossible? Or was it Jude Bellingham, the complete midfielder who can influence every second of a football match? Perhaps the real winners are the fans, because we get to watch both of them compete at the same time. Two future legends, two completely different footballers, one unforgettable era. This was Lamine Yamal. This was Jude Bellingham. Now it's your turn. If you could build your club around only one player for the next 10 years, who would you choose, Lamine Yamal or Jude Bellingham? Tell me your answer in the comments, and more importantly, tell me why. I'll be reading every single reply. And if you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe, because every legend has a story, and we're only getting started.